Day 3 of the People's Convoy, and we're lucky to have Maureen Steele, who is the original organizer of the event. Maureen, you are not in a vehicle right now, but you are somewhere. So tell us, tell us what the latest is. Where are you guys right now? Where are you staying tonight? What's going on?
Sure. We are in Tucumcari, New Mexico. We were on our way to Glen Rio, New Mexico, where we'll be staging for the evening at Russell's Truck Stop. But we heard there were some people here in Tucumcari that wanted to see us and were disappointed that we weren't going through town. So the truckers decided to pull into town and hold an impromptu little rally here in Tucumcari. So that's where we are right now. We're about 35 miles from where we're staging for the evening. So we don't have a very long ride. Once we get out of here, we're going to stay here for about an hour. And that's it. So we're expecting, another warm welcome at Russell's Truck Stop from the locals, like we've experienced throughout this entire journey so far. Just incredible crowds, a couple thousand people coming to welcome us into every place we've gone so far.
Are you all staying at the truck stop?
No. Like me personally and some of the other people we're traveling with, we're staying in hotels in the area. People in RVs and that have their, trucks, they're staying in those. But the rest of us that are following the convoy, we're staying in local hotels.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, how has the convoy changed since yesterday when we were talking to Josh, or even since the beginning? Differences in who's there or how many people are there, or is it basically still the same?
No, it's more than doubled in size. So I think the convoy is about 12 miles long right now. When we started off, it was about 6 miles long. So it's definitely growing as we go along. But because some people come, and they'll drive for 100 miles with us and then they drop off. Some are going the whole way. So it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. But right now it's pretty large. We're about 12 miles long right now.
How do you know you're 12 miles long? Who's been monitoring the length of the convoy?
So we have people that kind of go like ahead of the convoy, and they
Mm-hmm.
get on overpasses and then they time it, and so it's a guesstimate of how long it
I
is.
see.
Mhm.
Wow. So, you guys are going to stay in New Mexico tonight, and where is tomorrow taking you?
Oklahoma to Elk City, Oklahoma.
And do you have any events planned along the way as you're moving along, or is it sort of just more like what happened today? You hear about something, you decide to stop. How is it working? Is, I guess, or are you just driving? Like, do you guys call each other and say, "Hey, it's time for lunch," or you just get off and go to the rest stop and then motor up to try to catch up with everybody? Like, how does the 12 miles worth of vehicles organize itself for like bathroom breaks and meals and stuff like that?
Yeah, so there's no bathroom breaks for the truck drivers. They just go straight through. They're used to it. The rest of us that are traveling in cars or whatever, we'll just jump off the convoy and catch up and, take a bathroom break. But they have so much fuel that they carry. They have 300 gallons, 400 gallons of fuel on board. They can drive the whole way. And they'll fuel up tonight or first thing in the morning before we roll out again. So they don't have to worry about refueling like a vehicle does. So yeah, it's just a little bit different.
Don't forget, you can support my work and my ability to get you these interviews from the Truckers Convoy by checking out my sponsors. The first is AllisonWinePromo.com. That's Allison with 1L winepromo.com. You get 50% off my favorite Malbecs from Argentina and 50% off shipping. One of these comes from a vineyard at 8,950 feet. That's an extreme altitude Malbec, as well as one from the oldest vineyard in Argentina. Again, that's AllisonWinePromo.com. Also, check out TwinEngineCoffee.com/Allison. These are Nicaraguan roasts, also high altitude and USDA certified organic. They have a wide variety of roasts you can choose from, and a Caturra tea, which is tea you make from the coffee fruits. But wherever you are, sip to free speech, and thanks for supporting my channel. Since you're the organizer, the original organizer of the People's Convoy, can you tell me a little bit about what was going through your mind when you decided to do this? Like, what was your goal, or has that changed over time too?
No, the goal didn't change. I mean, the goal has always been freedom, a restoration of, where we were, a number of years ago before this, COVID-19 pandemic hit. So yeah, that's always been the goal. Certainly once more truckers got involved, there was more of a corroboration on ideas and how to get the messaging out. And we wrote the truckers' declaration a couple weeks ago and put that out, where the demands were, freedom, liberty, accountability, in a rescission of the, emergency, the national emergency. The truckers, and I think the American people, and I know it's the American people from the reaction we're getting, we just want business as usual. We want commerce back. We want things opened up, and we want our lives returned to normalcy. And not only, I think, is this a reaction to the COVID-19 pandemic, but I also think it's just people have had it with cancel culture, the political correct police, all of it. Like, I think this is a whiplash to all of that, and the American people are coming together. We've had just an unbelievable outpouring of love and support for this convoy, Allison. It's just been tremendous.
You were talking a little bit before we got you and your signal worked out about how this coincided in some way with what was happening in Canada. Like, you had this idea, or you were working with truckers before what happened in Ottawa, and there was some synchronicity there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. When Canada first started releasing flyers that the truckers were protesting starting January 23rd, it was about a week before that I got on the phone with the organizers and wound up on a Zoom call with Lee Dundas and 12 of the main organizers in Canada, just asking them, what's going on? What are you guys doing up there? That's when they explained to us that it wasn't just a truckers protest. It was pretty much the whole country that was rising up, that they were going to be going to Ottawa, but also to the province borders and coming down to the national border. That's when I said, you know what, let's pick a few borders and we'll meet you there. It's the first time in the history of the world that two neighboring nations have joined forces like that to protest their respective governments, that two citizenries held hands in that manner. So that was a pretty special time. And it was right after that, I organized truckers to go up there, and just groups of people to go up. They had food that they shared and stuff. They were passing it through the fences, and it was just incredible. And then it was like shortly thereafter, the truckers tried to organize here in the States to do a similar convoy for similar reasons, not lift the mandates. I think when President Biden got caught wind that we were going to do a convoy as well, they started to lift them in some of the blue states. But our message isn't lift the mandates. Our message is we want our freedoms returned, and we want the national emergency rescinded. That's what's allowing the government to pretty much trample over our, founding documents and the Constitution. So that's what the truckers are after. And most importantly, they want accountability. They want accountability for what has gone on with the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think the American people deserve that. Not only has there been tremendous loss of life, the loss of small businesses, livelihoods, the increase in suicide rates, the divorce rates going through the roof, the aftermath and the repercussions of the so-called cure have been devastating to our country and to the world. And I think not only do the people of the United States, but the people of the world deserve an explanation. This can't happen again in the future. We need to put safeguards in place so this doesn't happen again.
Obviously, since you started planning this, the unexpected has happened over in Ukraine, and all eyes now seem to be focused on what's going on over there with Russia. I'm curious, have you seen less interest from the media since that has escalated, that conflict has escalated, or are you still able to get your message out? It just seems like, though there were signs, I think, that it was building in that direction, that this sort of kind of exploded like right when you all basically started. So I'm just curious if you're still getting as much interest from media or not so much, because a lot of people have now sort of focused their attention on that.
I think it's definitely waned with the media, but I don't think it's waned with the American people. I think the people of our country are far more focused on domestic issues. I don't think, and I think the American people don't think we have any business dictating what other countries should or should not do when we can't even clean up our own backyard. We've got enough problems here on our own turf to handle. So I don't think Americans have the stomach right now to deal with what's going on in Ukraine and with Russia. So I believe the American people are still very focused on American issues, but mainstream media and the media certainly jumped considerably to start covering, overseas issues that I really don't think the American people are terribly interested at this point.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Maureen, before we go?
Yeah, I just want the American people that are listening to know, that nationalism, love of country is so strong right now. I mean, the outpouring of love and support we have seen on the road, it's just been an incredible experience, Allison. I wish I could bottle it up and be able to share it with everyone so they know what it's like. American generosity is alive and well. And we have 5 tractor trailers full to bursting with supplies, and we've only made 2 stops. It's just incredible. The money people give us for fuel, gift cards for the truckers. We have a Rubbermaid bin full of letters from children, from nuns, from people from every walk of life, supporting the truckers, thanking them for fighting for their freedom. This has been the great unifier. This is something that we've been wanting a long time, this country, to unify us again. And this can do it. Freedom is the great unifier. It's something it's a banner we all can rally under. Liberty crackles through all of our veins, and I believe this is going to be the checkmate move to unite the people of our country once again.
All right, and tell people the website again so they can keep up to speed with what's going on.
Sure, it's www.thepeoplesconvoy.org. You can donate there. You can see our route, find out where we'll be staging in the evenings, and everyone's invited to come see us in the evenings and join in with food and fun and just camaraderie. So we'd love to see you.
Okay. Maureen Steele, thank you.
Thank you, Allison.